There are 4 things you need to know about the OLED display on the Lenovo P11 Pro. The first is this OLED uses a Pentel matrix. Resolution of this display is 2560 by 1600, which is considered high. But due to the Pentel matrix, you can see the fonts, they have this slight fuzziness to them. Just for comparison purposes, now you are looking at the text on the Samsung Tab S7 Plus. The pixel density of this display is very similar to the Lenovo P11 Pro, but here you can see the text is much sharper. And here's a side-by-side comparison of the text on the Samsung and the Lenovo. Personally, for me, the slight fuzziness of the text on the Lenovo tablet doesn't really affect me because this is still considered a high-resolution display, so the text, they are still pretty detailed. The second issue with this Lenovo display is when you are using the tablet in portrait orientation and you are scrolling web pages, there is this noticeable wobble or jelly effect. Whereas on the Samsung tablet, for example, the wobble or jelly effect, it's not that obvious. It's still there, but it's not as obvious compared to what you can see on the Lenovo tablet. And you don't even need to do a side-by-side comparison to notice the wobbly effect. This, by the way, is my detailed artist review of the Lenovo tablet. If you want to check it out, just visit the link that I have for you in the video description below. Third thing to know is this OLED display uses PWM, pulse wave modulation. So people with sensitive eyes may actually detect the flicker from PWM. Here I have adjusted my camera settings to show the flicker more obviously. Personally, for me in the real world, I don't see any flicker. But for people who can see the flicker, that may cause eye fatigue. The Samsung Tab S7 Plus also uses PWM, but for the Samsung Tab S7, which uses LCD, there is no PWM. Another downside to this OLED display is there can be image retention issues under certain circumstances. So for example, here I have a black and white line art on white canvas, and the background of this app is actually dark gray. So when I close this file, this line art will be retained on the dark gray background. My camera may not be able to capture the image retention, so let me show you a photo instead. This photo has been enhanced to increase the contrast, and this is how it looks like, how the image retention looks like. The image retention is not obvious, but you can see it if you are looking for it. Now, if you are browsing web pages where the text is black against white, just like this, you are actually not going to see any image retention because you are not switching the background color. Having said that, I will not be surprised if there are going to be any OLED burn-in issues with this tablet in the future. So those are the issues you should know about this OLED display on the Lenovo P11 Pro. But otherwise, this is a bright display, the colors look terrific.